Hi, this is Shadi, and today we're going to be discussing the best pins for the street self-defense context. Now, before I start this video, I just want to say that there's no one way to conduct a street fight. Many of you will say, never go to the ground or disengage as fast as possible, and I get that. Sometimes you just want to throw and disengage. Sometimes you just want to avoid the place altogether. Sometimes you want to talk your way out of it, but if needed, maybe you're in law enforcement, maybe the situation allows it, you go to the ground and finish it there with full control and negotiation. So we need to have certain criterias, in my opinion, to have what's the best pin for self-defense. Mine personally are the following three. The first one, having complete sight of the opponent's head, so you can see how they're reacting, and also you can talk to them and you can negotiate with them. Number two is a pin that allows you to have distance and at the same time complete closeness. A pin where you can be far, chest-wise and head-wise, and also you can come in closer and exert the pin. And number three is a pin where you can apply a strangle. And as Elio Gracie says, they can fight with a broken arm, but they can't fight when they're napping. So without further ado, the first pin would be Katagatami, the classic judo pin. This one, it has all three. You can see them, you can look at them, you can have eye contact and negotiate with them, and also you can have distance, you can have your chest up, and you can have it very close to them. And also number three, you can have a multitude of submissions from this one, from arm locks to strangles. But here we are only talking about strangles because, like I said, giving them a nap is best, and also legal ramifications. And as Roy Dean says, it is arguably the most, I would say, merciful thing to do is give them a nap, because there's no lasting damage. Of course, if you hold it too tight and long enough, they will die, but you need to be the wiser in this situation. The first one being the chest compression. I would say this is a variation of Do Jime, in my opinion. Here, this is how you actually do it. You sink your weight into their chest, the lower chest, and also retract your ankle backwards so you can create more pressure on the neck. The next one is you can have their arm to the side and engage in Katagatami as a pin and squeeze for Kata Sankaku Jime, as they call it, as Neil Adams called it. You can see how this would actually strangle them. So Katagatami is a very versatile pin to have in your arsenal. The next one being Kuzure Katagatami, which is a broken scarf hold. This one, instead of wrapping the head, you underhook the far arm. You have all three criterias there as well. You have eyesight, where you can see them and you can talk to them, and number two, you can engage, you can maintain or control the distance. You can be far, you can be close, and finally, of course, you can engage in chokes and strangles. So here you see you can underhook them. In my opinion, this is the best one. The first one being is Katate Jime, where you grab the far side of their collar and sink your forearm and choke them. It's very simple and it's very effective. So you underhook one arm, and the arm that's holding the sleeve, you let it go and you sink your forearm into the neck. The next one is Okuri Jimmy, or some would call it Ashi Jime, or Kanto Choke reversed. Now, the next one is Tate Shio Gatame, or the mount position. You have all three. You can see them, you can maintain distance, you can post your arm as you are having your chest up. Wherever they try to manage their weight, you post your arm to maintain the hold. And of course, you can get in closer for here the head and arm choke, and of course a multitude of other chokes or strangles you can do from this pin. You can do the Gyaku Juji Jime, or any type of Juji Jime, or the cross choke, and of course if you want to get fancy, you can do Sankaku Jime, triangle choke with your legs, and leg locks like the Ashigarami that I've shown recently. The next one is Ura Gatame, or floating hold. Now this is how you win a judo match with Ura Gatame. you are setting up a Juji Gatame, and they're too strong. You cannot pop their hand free, and it's getting stagnant, and the referee might call mate. So you do this: you grab your collar, you grab the belt or the pants, and you get your buttocks up, and that would consider it as Uki Gatame, and the Osaekomi is valid. It's very hard to escape from this position, and if they turn towards you, you can go for Juji Gatame that you were setting it up. Now, you can do Uki Gatame in a multitude of ways. Particularly, the most famous one is your knee on belly. The knee on belly would be considered also as Uki Gatame, as you have your buttocks off the floor and it's a floating hold. It can be on the ribs, it can be on the stomach. Now, and here also you have a multitude of choke. This is, or strangles. You have Eli Knight demonstrating it in his course, self-defense jiu-jitsu, where he's well enclothed. I think this is a very cool concept for a instructional. So here the first one being done is your cross choke. And here you see Juji Jime, but you have to go down from the floating hold, or it is still considered a floating hold. He's pinning the arm, he has his buttocks up, and he is engaging in the strangle. Here you can see it from a different angle. You have to drop down so you can sink your weight into the cross choke. Here you can go from behind. If you don't want to cross your arms, you can go behind them and your arms will cross themselves. This is a good way to set it up without them understanding what's going on. And finally, you can also do an Okuri Jimmy. You can go to the back. If they are defending the arms very well, you can go to the back by lifting them up and then engaging in bow and arrow or Okuri Jimmy. Again, knee on belly is great. It can be painful. You can control, you can see them, talk to them, and also manage your distance. So I'd say these are very important criteria. Some of you may have other criteria. You can share them down below as well. Now, in my opinion, this is by far the worst one, Ura Gatame. Ura Gatame, you are sinking your head to the ground. You have your back turned away, and they have one arm and one leg free. They have many options to do here. You can't see them. Maybe they have strong arms. They can do any type of stuff. They can pull your hair. They can maybe bite your neck. So many things. The hold is not worth it, in my opinion. It is uncomfortable and you can easily get hurt. Now, when it comes to scoring Ippon, you can surely do it. Just ask Lipartiliani or Iago Abuladze. But in terms of street self-defense, it is by far the worst one. Look at how you are having your head down and you are on your back. It's just not worth it, in my opinion. Now, there is many others like Kamishio Gatami or north-south or side control. You may ask me why not. They're great pins for sure, but in my opinion, they're not the best. You need to have close contact in order to maintain the pin. You can for sure submit them from it, but you do not have the luxury or the option of managing distance like the others. You can have your chest up, you can have it close to them, etc. So they're great pins for sure, the north-south or Kamishio Gatame and the Yokoshio Gatame or side control, but they're not the best. That's what I believe. So if you have anything else to add, please let me know down below. Also consider supporting me on Patreon for exclusive content. I post there once a week. And of course, don't forget to check out Josh Simon's shop in the description below for articles and t-shirts. This was Shadi, and as always, thank you for listening.